Okay, imagine this. You step into, well, any situation, really, a conversation, maybe a presentation, or you're traveling, and English is being spoken. And every word you pick just feels effortless,
Yeah.
precise, completely natural, no more hesitating or searching your brain for that right word. What if, and this is the big question, what if mastering just 500 like really key vocabulary words could actually trigger that transformation, unlocking not just fluency, but real confidence? That's the powerful idea we're really diving into today.
Our mission with this deep dive is to equip you with this kind of high leverage vocabulary, give you a direct path to sounding, well, genuinely well informed and maybe most importantly, authentically confident in your English.
And I'm really excited to, guide you through these essential words. It's not just about what they mean, but how you can actually use them, deploy them like a natural speaker would. My work in linguistics and fluency, it's really focused on understanding those core building blocks of, effective communication. And these 500 words, they were definitely right up there. That's fantastic. We're so glad to have your expertise here. Your insights into how language actually functions, they're just invaluable for this. So before we even start unpacking the main list, if there was one single word you think every English learner should focus on right now, today, what would that be?
Oh, it's a great way to kick things off.
Yeah.
I'd immediately point to articulate.
Articulate. Okay.
Yeah, it means basically expressing yourself clearly, effectively.
Yeah.
But what's really powerful about it, it's not just a word describing something, it's also a quality you embody. When you use articulate correctly, maybe to describe someone, or even your own goal, it just instantly signals a higher level of sophistication in your own English.
Yeah.
It's almost like a meta word for fluency,
Articulate. Yeah, I can definitely see that. It feels like a cornerstone word for anyone's vocabulary. Okay, so let's dig into this a bit more. Why this intense focus on vocabulary? We hear so much about grammar, right? Tenses, sentence structure. Is vocabulary really, king?
It's a really important distinction to make. Think of grammar as like the skeleton of a language. It gives you the essential framework, the structure.
That's right. The bones.
Exactly. But vocabulary, that's the muscle, the personality. It's the lifeblood, really, that lets you express nuance, emotion, precise meaning. Without a decent vocabulary, even if your grammar is perfect, your communication can feel a bit bare. Like a well-built house, but with no furniture, no decoration.
That's a great analogy.
And if you look at the bigger picture, sure, native English speakers might use, 20,000 words actively, maybe more. But linguistic research, it consistently shows that for genuinely fluent conversation, you probably only need around 2,000 to 3,000 words.
2,000 to 3,000. That feels much more manageable.
Right. And the 500 words we're zeroing in on today, these aren't just random picks. They are absolutely the cream of the crop for boosting your fluency fast. They've been identified through pretty extensive analysis of language corpora, huge databases of real-world speech and text. So these words, they're chosen not just because they're common, but because they're incredibly versatile and have high impact across loads of different situations.
That context, knowing it comes from actual linguistic research, that's incredibly helpful. So these 500 words are basically the high leverage ones, picked for practical use. And to make them easier to learn, you've actually grouped them, right? Put them into a structure.
Precisely. Yeah, we've grouped them into 5 practical themes just to maximize the learning impact and hopefully help you remember them better. We'll explore words for daily life, then emotions and relationships, work and ambition, connectors and transitions, and finally descriptions and opinions. This thematic approach, it really helps you see how the words are used in actual real-world situations. Makes them much easier to kind of internalize and actually use.
That makes so much sense, connecting the learning directly to how you'd apply it. So what does all this mean for you listening right now? Well, by the end of this deep dive, you're going to have a really clear understanding of actionable tools you can use to sound more confident, more natural in English. We're about to get into something that could genuinely change how you approach communicating in English. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Okay, let's kick off with our first theme then, daily life. These are the words you need for just navigating everyday stuff, shopping, traveling, maybe just having a casual chat. What's kind of cool here is how quickly these words can just slot into your regular speech. They make those normal, mundane conversations feel a bit more precise, a bit more natural. Give us a taste. What are some of the first ones that jump out for you in this category?
Okay, here we go. Think about words like convenient, meaning, easy to use or get to. Like, this app is so convenient for booking flights. Or reliable, which just means dependable, as in this car is really reliable. It never breaks down.
Always good to have.
Definitely. Another great one is spontaneous, meaning unplanned. Like, hey, let's be spontaneous and just go for a hike.
Love that one.
And essential, meaning absolutely necessary. Like, water is essential for survival.
Mm.
Pretty straightforward, but fundamental.
Those are incredibly practical, yeah.
Yeah.
I can already see how often they'd come up. You mentioned spontaneous. For someone trying to use it naturally, not just like reciting a definition, what's a subtle way to weave it in?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, it's not just knowing the meaning, it's getting the vibe of the word right. Spontaneous adds this kind of fun, lighthearted energy. So instead of just saying, let's do something without planning, you could try, why don't we be spontaneous and catch a movie tonight? It's just a small shift, but it makes you sound more dynamic, more conversational. Another word in this category often overlooked is bargain. Perfect when you're shopping.
Ah,
Instead of just saying, oh, this is cheap, try, wow, what a bargain. It conveys excitement, maybe a bit of savvy, really elevates everyday chat.
okay. I'm definitely banking bargain for my next shopping trip. Before we move on to expressing feelings, what's your number one tip for making these everyday words actually stick, not just learn them today and forget them tomorrow?
Consistency. Consistency beats cramming every single time. Don't just like memorize words on their own. Put them into sentences that actually mean something to you, relevant to your life. So instead of just rote learning vibrant, maybe say, my favorite street market is so vibrant. Use flashcards, maybe apps like Anki, sure, but commit to just say 10 minutes of review daily. That context method, connecting the word to your own experience, it's incredibly powerful.
That's a fantastic tip. Context is key. Okay, let's shift gears. Our next theme, emotions and relationships. So once you're feeling more comfortable navigating daily stuff, the next layer of fluency is really about connecting with people, right? These words, they aren't just about slapping a label on your feelings. They're about building nuance and authenticity in your connections. Why are these particular words so vital for that deeper communication?
Well, if you think about it, emotions are like the absolute heart of human connection.
Right.
If you can't really express how you feel, whether you're feeling grateful or frustrated or maybe deeply empathetic, you're basically missing a huge dimension of communication. Mastering the difference between, say, grateful and maybe indebted, that allows you to express really precise levels of appreciation. And that deeply impacts how other people perceive your sincerity, your emotional intelligence even. They help you build richer, more authentic bonds.
That's a really powerful point about sincerity and nuance. Okay, let's dive into a few examples from this theme then.
Sure. Take empathy, which is, understanding and sharing the feelings of someone else. Saying something like, she showed genuine empathy during my tough time. That instantly conveys a much deeper connection than just saying, oh, she was nice.
Mm-hmm. Much deeper.
Or anxious, meaning feeling worry or unease. I'm feeling anxious about the upcoming exam.
Yeah.
It's specific. Another really vital one is sincere. This word is perfect for conveying genuine emotion, like in an apology or a compliment. For instance, I'm sincerely sorry just feels much stronger, more heartfelt than a simple sorry.
Yeah, it does carry more weight.
Exactly. And similarly, content, meaning a state of like peaceful happiness and satisfaction, which is subtly different from, say, joyful, which implies maybe a more exuberant, bubbly feeling. These subtle distinctions are really what elevate your expression beyond the basics.
Absolutely. So how can listeners practice using these emotional words without feeling, I don't know, awkward or like they're overthinking it?
Yeah, that's a common concern. Start small. And in low-stakes situations, try using one in maybe a text message to a friend like, hey, just want to say I'm so grateful for you. Simple. Or if you keep a journal, use it to articulate your own feelings, using words like content or frustrated. Another brilliant way, honestly, is to watch English movies or TV shows. Pay close attention to how the characters express emotions. It's like getting a free masterclass in context and natural usage. The more you encounter them and crucially use them, the more natural they'll start to feel.
Brilliant advice. Watch more TV. Great homework.
Okay, we've already covered quite a chunk of our 500 words. Let's move to our third theme, work and ambition. This is where your vocabulary can really help you shine in professional settings. Why are these words so important for, say, career success?
Well, workplace communication, it's so often about sounding confident, capable, and forward-thinking. These words are basically your strategic tools. Tools to nail interviews, lead impactful meetings, impress colleagues, superiors. They're critical for articulating your initiative, your problem-solving skills, your vision. They're kind of your ticket to sounding like a leader, honestly, regardless of your actual job title. That makes perfect sense. Leadership language. Okay, let's delve into some of these words. You mentioned this category covers a slightly larger number of our 500 essentials.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fair few here because professional context demands precision. Consider ambitious, meaning having that strong desire and determination to succeed. She's really ambitious and always chasing big goals.
Right.
Or innovative, introducing new ideas, new methods, being creative. This company is known for innovative solutions that really, break new ground. A real power word here is proactive.
Ah, I like that one.
Yeah. Taking initiative rather than just waiting around for things to happen. So instead of saying, okay, we'll wait for instructions, a much more impactful phrase is, I took a proactive approach and started the initial research.
Yeah.
It's perfect for showing initiative without having to spell it out.
Shows you're on the ball.
Exactly. Also, resourceful. That's a gem for problem solvers. Saying, I found a resourceful solution to the budget issue, it highlights your ability to think creatively, especially under pressure. And for leaders, or people who want to be leaders, collaborative is essential. Our team achieved this success through a highly collaborative effort. Shows you can work effectively with others. These words, they aren't just labels. They describe actions and traits that are really highly valued in pretty much any professional environment.
Okay, I'm definitely noting proactive for my next team update. For listeners wanting to integrate these into their work lives, what are some top tips for really mastering them, getting comfortable?
Practice them in real or realistic scenarios, even if it's just in your head at first. Maybe write an email, draft a key point using strategic or insightful, or rehearse an answer for a job interview, incorporating words like resilient or adaptable.
Yeah.
Also, and this can be a game changer for confidence and pronunciation, record yourself speaking these words or sentences. Then listen back. You'll be surprised how quickly you spot areas to improve, and honestly, how quickly you gain confidence hearing yourself use them.
Recording yourself. Interesting tip.
Okay.
Go, we are moving through these categories nicely. We've covered a lot already. Let's get into connectors and transitions. These are the words that act like linguistic glue, right? Making your speech flow like a really seasoned speaker. Why are these so critically important?
Yeah, glue is a good way to think about it. But they do more than just make you flow. They are the signals, the linguistic signals that create cohesion, that's linking sentences and paragraphs logically, and coherence, making your whole message logically consistent and easy for the listener to follow. Without them, your sentences can feel kind of choppy, your ideas disconnected, your listeners might struggle to follow your train of thought. They really elevate your communication from just a series of statements into like a compelling narrative or solid argument.
That distinction, cohesion, and coherence, that's a really profound insight. Okay, let's get some examples from this crucial category.
Sure. Think about words like therefore, meaning for that reason or as a consequence. I studied hard, therefore I passed the exam. Simple logic.
Clear cause and effect.
Exactly. Or however, meaning in contrast or despite something, I tried my best, however, it didn't quite work out. These two, therefore and however, they immediately make you sound more polished, more considered in your thoughts. Instead of just saying, I was tired, I went, I was tired, however, I still went to the event. It's a subtle tweak, but it adds real sophistication.
It really does.
In addition, is another incredibly versatile one. Use it to pile on benefits or add extra information smoothly. This course is affordable. In addition, it's incredibly flexible. It just makes your speech build effortlessly, guiding your listener through your points.
These definitely make you sound like you're constructing a thoughtful point, not just talking off the cuff. What's the best way to get the hang of using these connectors and transitions naturally?
The best way is probably to use them actively in storytelling or explanations. Try retelling a recent event or explaining a topic you know well to a friend, and consciously try to insert words like consequently or meanwhile or furthermore. Also, pay close attention to how professionals use these words. Watch, say, English debates, TED Talks, even news analysis shows. See how skilled speakers link their ideas so seamlessly? That kind of direct observation can be incredibly illuminating.
Great practical tips. Okay, we're on a roll. That brings us to our final theme, descriptions and opinions. These are the words you use to express your thoughts with a bit more flair, precision, and confidence. This kind of raises an important question, doesn't it? How can you truly articulate your unique perspective, make your message memorable, without having these kinds of vivid words in your toolkit?
That's exactly right. This category is where your language really takes on personality depth. These words let you move beyond just basic statements, it was good, it was bad, to actually paint vivid pictures, convey subtle nuances, and express your opinions with real conviction, real authenticity. They allow you to differentiate between something that's just good and something that's, say, remarkable or compelling. It gives your communication a much richer texture.
Texture, I like that. Adding texture to your language. Okay, let's dive into some examples from this pretty extensive category.
Okay, consider remarkable, meaning extraordinary, noteworthy. Her speech was truly remarkable. It says so much more than good or flawed, meaning having imperfections. The plan, while it was well-intentioned, was unfortunately flawed in its execution. Its specific criticism. Fascinating is another great one. Extremely interesting, captivating. This historical document is absolutely fascinating. For expressing genuine opinions, authentic is incredibly versatile, saying, this little restaurant has such an authentic vibe, adds depth to your description beyond just, oh, it feels real.
Yeah, much more evocative.
Right. Intriguing is another excellent word. It sparks curiosity, like saying, her proposal presented some truly intriguing possibilities. It makes people lean in, want to know more. And for impact, think of words like stunning or gorgeous. They paint truly vivid pictures, convey a strong positive impression instantly. Then there's compelling, meaning evoking strong interest or even conviction, like his argument was so compelling it actually changed my mind. These words, they empower you to be a much more persuasive and engaging communicator.
These words certainly add so much flavor, so much precision. What are your top tips for using them confidently, especially when you're sharing your opinions, which can sometimes feel vulnerable?
Yeah, that's key. Practice describing things around you, just mundane things. Instead of just thinking the park is nice, try thinking or saying out loud, the park is absolutely stunning today and feels so serene. Use them when you write reviews, maybe for a movie, a book, a product online, or even just in your social media posts to get comfortable expressing these richer descriptions. And remember to embrace nuance. Instead of just, the movie was stunning, maybe try, the movie was visually stunning, but I felt the plot was slightly predictable. This shows depth. It shows a well-considered opinion. Makes you sound far more articulate.
What a journey. Wow. We've just explored what feels like 500 essential English vocabulary words across these 5 key themes. Daily life, emotions and relationships, work and ambition, connectives and transitions, and descriptions and opinions. So for you listening, you now really do have a powerful lexicon at your fingertips, a genuine advantage for confident communication. It's been a really insightful deep dive, and I really appreciate you bringing so much expertise and clarity to this whole topic. Any final words of encouragement for our listeners?
Oh, it's been a genuine pleasure. My most critical takeaway, the thing I really want people to remember, is this. Knowing these words is only half the battle. The real power comes from using them, actively using them. Don't aim for perfection straight away. Focus on consistent progress. Pick just one new word a day, maybe, and try to weave it into a conversation, an email, or even just a thought in your head. Regular daily practice, even if it's just small doses, it will absolutely compound into significant fluency gains over time.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Progress, not perfection. Listeners, you now have the tools to sound confident, articulate, and truly natural. Imagine walking into any situation, maybe a casual chat with a friend, maybe a high-stakes job interview, or an exciting travel adventure, and just expressing yourself with ease, with precision, with your authentic personality shining through. That's the direct power you unlock by diligently engaging with these 500 words.
So, building on that, here's an actionable challenge for you listening. From all the words we've talked about today, just pick 10. Only 10, and make a conscious effort to use them in your conversations or your writing this week. Then maybe just notice how it felt. Tell us how it went.
That's the spirit. That's what this deep dive is all about. Thank you all so much for joining us on this essential fluency exploration. Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and keep shining.